Those kind words.
There you go.
Did you have some booze in that coffee?
I wish. I feel so caffeinated.
It's good coffee.
Yeah.
Mike, you're okay with those two sticking around for the session, right?
Go ahead.
Mike,
Yep.
yeah.
Alrighty, they're ready to, guys ready?
There's three of them, I'll post these guys, so.
That's what I figured, yeah. Guys ready?
Yep. Well, today?
You guys? Yep. Alrighty. Guzikowski will call a Board of Public Works and Capital Assets meeting to order of May 10th. Roll call.
Gail's here.
Dukenyak here. Guzikowski here.
Richard's here.
Here. Alrighty. Alrighty. Approval of minutes for 4/12. Any changes or corrections that anyone?
Nothing for me, Goose.
I'm not sure on, item 12 if that is recorded correctly. 'Cause I don't think we just accepted the request that those people should no parking.
Or 12?
Maybe. You can look at, you talk about it.
Matt, can you look at that? Yeah, I think we had directed you to do something, but I'm not sure if you just accepted it, right?
Right.
Actually,
We can revise that, it was a little tough to follow.
Yeah, it was tough to be here.
From what I recall, it was leave all the existing parking as is, that one stretch from driveway Pick and Save up to the bank, or not the bank, but the post office on the west side. We were to limit slow truck parking there. We have to come up with a signage for that pull it back at 50 or 75 feet, so we had that 50. But that was the only area that we were,
I believe so.
that's how I understood.
Yeah, that seems right.
Yes.
That's how we're approaching it. We're moving forward, we're working through legal right now to make sure that we have the correct signage that can be enforced by the PD.
Because there are other things shown in that one diagram that I don't think we,
I think that diagram was no parking. The entire
yeah,
length of major both sides.
yeah, we did not go that route.
Well, and Matt, I know that's what you presented to me. And I had to correct that. I was at the council. So as far as committee level, I have no input.
You put it up to get it corrected or updated. Thank you very much.
Good catch, Bob.
Yeah, good catch.
If you guys work to pull your mics down while we're talking so we can get you on the cam, on the audio. I don't even think mine's coming on, but I just got a note, the powers that be.
Yeah, we have to make sure we're pulling our microphones down for the meeting because they're not able to like hear what we're saying or talking about when they're doing the minutes. And your light, it'll light up when you're talking in there, so as long as
Other than that, we're good to go?
Yeah, this one, I don't think this one.
they gotta, sometimes they gotta turn those on, don't they, down there? I thought, no? Yeah.
Step up.
Those down there are not working.
Or box.
Is that one, the one next to you work, Bob? No? Wow.
Did you turn it on? Got a little switch in it. Yeah, it'll be this. Yeah, that's just blinking up here. It's not turning on.
So it's still working on the motion for minutes? Did you make a motion, Bob, or?
I did not make motion.
Okay.
Do you want it?
Richards will make a motion to approve the minutes as listed.
We're with the correction cited on item 12, Dale. Sorry.
Yes.
Subject to revision on item 12.
Subject to the modifications by the engineer on item 12.
There we go.
As noted. All right. All right, good. Roll call.
Gale, aye.
Dukenyak abstain.
Guzekowski, aye.
Richards, aye.
Scully, aye.
There you go, Bob. That came on. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Andrew.
All right. Thanks,
There you
Craig.
go.
Yes,
Yeah, you work wonders
I
from
thought
afar.
they have some switches back there that they turn on and off. Alrighty, perfect. For review the common council actions related to public works and capital assets.
Yeah, just, if I may, just a couple of exciting projects I wanted to close the feedback loop on. Number 1 and number 2 are kind of related as they relate to the Apple Creek Farms paving and the improvements to Hanadel Boulevard. A pain in several mayors' sides now, the Hanadel Boulevard maintenance. So with that Apple Creek Farms paving and some of the work that was included in that contract on the next item, the Orchard Hills Micro Park, that came to about $572,275. The Orchard Hills Micro Park was also awarded at $180,481, and that's on the site of the water tower and adjacent to that neighborhood. So really good. Finally correcting, hopefully more permanently, the Hanadel Boulevard. We're doing some concrete work in there, really not going with the intensive landscaping that really never got taken care of and should have been not necessarily the city's responsibility, but ultimately it became the city's responsibility. So with regards to the development of the multifamily residential right next to the PD on Eagle Summit, the Broad Acre development, as we call that, the stormwater management agreement was approved for that. The only reason I bring this up is because the project's going forward. They hope to close by the end of May and then be on track to start commencing construction right after that, soon thereafter. That's a really good project. We're excited about that project. And thanks to the members of the council and the commission to working through that plan commission. Lastly, the East Side Fiber project was awarded also. You'll recall that city in our capital improvement planning, which this group was a part of, budgeted for the East Side Fiber project using some of our ARPA dollars. That project came in at $483,908, and that in addition to providing fiber to the water plant and Fire Station 2, which has been long overdue, it'll be a big improvement, provides us a lot of opportunities to work with partners along that route as we're developing the lake and just generally that area. So just wanted to close the feedback loop on those projects, and
Thank you.
those are
That's a big
common council
job.
actions. Yeah.
That'll be a big major improvement down there.
All right, that was informational. No motion needed on that.
Nope.
All right. 5, consider a motion to approve the, sorry, anyone have any other questions? Sorry about that for Andrew. All righty. 5, consider a motion to approve the 2022 sanitary sewer rehab project and award a construction contract to the lowest responsive bidder.
So this is our sort of annual sanitary sewer rehab project that we've been doing, lining and spot repairs, that sort of thing. This time it's gone to Globe as a low bidder. The one nice thing is all the bids are actually relatively close together. There's a pretty good gradation in there, and we've worked with Globe before. I'm satisfied with their work, so they should do a good job here. And under budget.
We'll need on the next one.
Richards will make a motion to approve item number 5 as listed.
Gale, second.
Roll call.
Gale, aye.
Dukenyak, aye.
Guzekowski, aye.
Richards, aye.
Scully, aye.
All righty, number 6, consider a motion to approve the Susan Dry Water Relay Project and award a construction contract and the lowest responsive bidder.
So on this one, Susan Drive, just east of here, that's a older water main. We've had a number of breaks on it. We'd like to get that one replaced, bid the project out. Really close bids on this. Obviously a tight plan set, but also very accurate bidding that we've got on it. Not reflective of our budget though. So prices have gone up. We know that, we've seen that in other bids and that sort of thing going on. So with this project, we would recommend moving forward with it and amending the capital budget by $75,000 in order to cover the inspection and engineering on it as well for the project budget, and then awarding this to Globe at the $393,000.
No issues with Globe having sufficient capacity to take on both?
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all.
Sigali will make a motion to approve.
Richards a second.
Roll call.
Gale, aye.
Guzekowski.
Dukenyak, aye.
Yeah, Guzekowski, aye.
Richards, aye.
Sigali, aye.
Now ready, number 7.
Get that one done next week. Can't afford any more breaks over there.
True, yeah, true.
Consider a motion to approve utility vouchers for payments in the amount of $680,000.
No, I didn't see anything looking ugly over there. Richards will make a motion to approve the vouchers as listed.
Gale, second.
Roll call.
Gale, aye.
Dukenyak, aye.
Guzekowski, aye.
Richards, aye.
Sigali, aye.
And number 8, administrative and operations reports.
Well, a couple things I have for you. The administrative section, just of note there is that we're starting off the year pretty well from a sales perspective, but also we'll see that in production. Production's, I think, up close to 5%. This, so far on this, we're up change per the average of 3.6%, another 1.8 compared to last year. So we're doing, it's going to be a strong year. And from what I'm hearing from the weather, should be drier and hotter this year is what they're sort of calling for. So this could be another really strong year for water sales. Of the groups that did change a bit, I'll just highlight industrial. We Energies is up again. We know they're using more water, but we still think they have a leak down there. That's something that they're working on, but yeah, big. I don't know. I do know that when they run our water through the ERGS plant, they can use a tremendous amount of water running. So if they're doing that, and that could be the explanation for some of this too. If it were a leak that big, it's got to be surfacing someplace. So.
Hey, Mike, speaking of that, their announcement a week or so ago about, they intend to transition to natural gas. So is that gonna increase or decrease their demand for water for cooling, or?
Shouldn't have any effect, the fuel source that they use. Yeah. So on engineering, let's see, engineering, the East Rawson Avenue project, we put the water main loop in there. What we didn't include in the contract because of the cost was the asphalt patching of Rawson. So we're working on getting that done with a separate contractor. The bid price was just too high for that. We've seen that also in other projects as well. So that's still, while that project's complete, it's lingering on due to the restoration piece. Forest Hill Manor water main relay, that's for Dev, Elbeth, and Griffin. We're going to recommend that the Common Council reject those bids that recently came in. That'll be at the next council meeting. The bids came in at about $845,000. I think we had about $750,000 budgeted for the project. The big issue is the asphalt restoration cost difference. It's so much higher than what it ought to be, what we would expect. So Brian's been working with Matt. It makes sense to hold that project off. We were going to sort of combine resources and have that subdivision repaved. The water main project would pay for the water main portion of it. Matt's program was going to pay for the paving portion. We think it makes sense to include all of that next year in the paving program. Included with a bigger paving project, we probably should get better asphalt prices. They were $120 a ton, which is just sort of insanity compared to Susan. Susan was $60 a ton cheaper. So yeah, we can be kind of looking at this, but the prices are going nuts. We got to be really careful on what we're doing. So we think it makes sense to hold that project until next year and combine it with the road project.
The whole project, or use temporary patches?
No, to hold the whole project.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a real mess out there to try and temporary patch it. So yeah, we would, and that's why we're recommending reject the bids. rebid it later in the fall so we can start next year on the water main and then follow up with the paving. And to be clear, the road is not slated for repaving in the paving project program next year. It's because of the water main project that it makes sense to do the road at the same time. So it will be added to the paving project or paving program next year. Elsewhere in engineering, we did on the carbon project, we did jar testing down at the treatment plant. So we're looking at dosing of carbon to see the effect on removing MIB and jasmine are the two compounds we look at for taste and odor. So we're looking at that. We'll send all of those results to a lab and get the actual result, get it quantified analytically to see which dose works best for us. That's just part of that project moving forward, some of the early steps. Asphalt distribution.
Mike, what about, how soon do you expect to see the results from this deep study on the HVAC system?
Oh, okay. So that we've got preliminary, and they're working on I guess technically they're working on preliminary design. We saw the preliminary evaluation of it and what can be done. And so now they're working on the preliminary design concepts for it. So we don't have dollars. We're not sure exactly what it's going to involve. We do know they're saving the ductwork now, so that's good. All the controls need to be changed out. We knew that. And our hot deck, cold deck unit up in the second floor, that needs to be replaced. It's completely inefficient. We're taking outside air and cooling it, but also running it through the hot deck. It's what was done sort of back in the day. It'll be a big project, yeah. Also, one of the recommendations, we talked about that energy efficiency study that was done last time. They recognize this as well and had a number of recommendations surrounding the HVAC system. It's already being incorporated in this project. So, distribution, we had 3 water main breaks. I don't know that anyone's of particular note except that Elm Road happened on a piece of 1982 water main. So that's a little young to start seeing that. We've not had other breaks in that area. So that's something we need to start keeping our eye on there a little bit. Chicago Road, I guess that one's notable in that we had a break there earlier. I want to say January, might have been late fall last year, almost exactly to the same spot. So we're back at that area. That area drains to the east. So it drains through the yards, through the next block yards, really creates kind of a mess over there. And that main looked terrible to the guys that were working on it. So that's something that raises concern for us as well.
How far down is 9200, Mike?
Just south of American. Yeah, east side of the road. It's off the road. It's in the yard, you might say. So from that regard, it's good, but it's also bad because it really makes a mess out of the yards over there. Let's see. So annual flushing has been starting and stopping due to the weather. It has now stopped again. We've got a plant shutdown. The plant's running off the generators all day today while We Energies does some work on our incoming electrical. So because of that, we're not doing any flushing today. We don't want to use up any water that we may need in case something happens with those generators. And lastly, we took delivery of our Freightliner dump truck that was ordered March of last year. And it's got to go back because it needs some help already, but that's fine. At least we have it.
Was that ordered a year ago or 2 years ago?
A year ago, yeah. Oh, you know, it says 2020, but I can't.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it was 2021. I'll double check that. If it's 2020, I'll send something out to you guys because I'm pretty sure it was a little over a year. Let's see, plant operations. The only thing to note there is that the yearly pumpage is up 5.6%. So as I mentioned, it looks like we're starting off to a strong year, and that could change in a heartbeat. We could have a real wet early summer here, and that'll change the tone for sure. That's all I have from our side.
If I could, we have not talked about bonds at all. You know, anything to do with financing. Do we have any concerns with the bonds, et cetera, out there?
What do you mean, Dale?
We have not put any of that on the agendas. So from a financial standpoint, do we have
Bonds
some
in
concerns?
terms of the cash holdings, or bonds in terms of what we use for financing?
Both. I mean, we've totally taken that out of the agendas.
Well, we wouldn't put anything on bonds unless we were actually gonna refinance, or we need to float an issue. But the cash management is something that we could consider if,
We have not, that's my
Yeah.
point.
but if we need to, and,
I can put that on next month.
yes, for the staff account,
That'd be fine,
I'm not sure if the state fund is adjusted yet or not.
I think you all resolved to do that quarterly, if I'm not mistaken, instead of monthly. There wasn't much change from month to month. I was kind of bringing Derek in here to give you the same story. So I think we were moving that to quarterly, but in regards to the,
Quarterly would be fine, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
yeah, okay. I just wanted to
If
remind
that
you.
funds changed, or maybe the state fund maybe have moved already in our favor, finally.
Yeah. I'm not sure on investments, but I know we're obviously seeing creep in the tax exempt bond market. You know, it's commensurate with the changes the Fed would make. We'll see that
Yeah, but
proportionate increase.
we're not issuing bonds anytime soon, nor is there probably any refunding options, right? At this,
But I'll have that sort of old timey, that typical, investment report that we had, we'll have that put back on, for next month, and we'll do it quarterly from there going forward, make sure we have it.
And just from a generic standpoint, I want to plant some seeds. We want to consider getting back into the bottled water business. I think we need to think about that.
That's a super, I would say no, that's a super tough market. The folks-
I would be willing to spend money to have a feasibility study done. Think about it.
Okay,
And then lastly, especially with Rich joining the club, you know, things are kind of calmed down and a lot of things going on at the plant. I'm just wondering whether or not we shouldn't have a plant tour or have a meeting down at the plant like we used to. Think about that too.
I actually, Lisa Marcel reached out, and I'm going to be taking her on a treatment plant tour. We were just finalizing the date, and then I was going to reach out to Rich, to see, since he's new here, if you were interested in the treatment plant tour as well, but we could do it with anybody. And that's not a bad idea to have a meeting down there, you know, occasionally.
See some of the improvements that we've made.
that's been a long time since I've been in that building.
Yeah.
I'd be for it.
Sometime along the way here, let's get after it.
Weather's nice, we'll pitch a rod out there.
Ed, enough engineering. You don't have to talk, is there anything worthwhile?
I guess at this point, obviously everyone knows Drexel's moving forward. We have, if anybody's curious, we've had a slight hiccup this week. Their entire crew came down with COVID, so you probably won't see any work. Just in case you're curious or you get any phone calls or concerns. We're kind of working through some details and issues with timing of lights and that. We've been kind of addressing that as those concerns came forward. Broad Acre, that Andrew brought that up. We will be working through our development agreement. We look to have that on May 17th council agenda. So, and he was correct. I believe June 1st is now their closing date on the parcel, and they plan on starting work by June 13th for grading. So we're just working through the details on that.
Do you have any brief timeline update on the MMSD soil haul to the North Bluff property?
Yes, there was a slight delay due to weather. Sue Winnan out of our department is keeping very close contact with the contractor, who is Michaels with MMSD, on their delivery. We're looking towards, I believe, within a week, May 16th is where they're looking to start bringing the soil out there, and it's all weather dependent again. Looks like we got a nice week, so things should dry out and should be a positive. So, and that right now they have a calendar work schedule, so it's a full year. We're hoping that through the productivity, we get a little better response, and it's not an entire year of moving soil. So we're hoping that that happens through the fall and they're done and completed out there.
Is that all, I mean, down there by the park, is that basically water or sewer going in there?
As far as for Lakeshore Commons, the sanitary sewer actually has been installed. They're currently working on water main. I believe they're making pretty good progress now. They do have the water and sanitary down Lake Vista, the road that was shut. So we'll start seeing some more improvements on that area towards Bender. I believe within the next month, they plan on kicking into storm sewer and things of that nature. So the progress is starting to become, one note, the sanitary sewer amendment, which we're working through in the primary environmental corridor, was actually approved by DNR this last week. So we now have full reign of the site and control. So the contractor's been provided that. So you're going to see a little more action out there and a little more movement. Just for your knowledge, we're looking at probably going vertical on a few buildings starting in June, towards the end of June, July area. So we still have a lot of things to work through in the next month or two to get to that point, but things are starting to look more positive.
Super.
In regard to the hauling of the soils, I know there was a resident concern that was brought to both UI and possibly Sue as well with signage placement on Ryan Road. Has that been addressed?
There was actually an existing sign that's already out there.
Well, the one that is covered with graffiti.
There's one that's about 200-300 feet directly west of Chicago on Ryan
Okay,
Road.
so that was recently put up?
No, that's actually been up there. I went
Really?
out there and I talked with the DOT. That's been up there for some time.
Okay,
We can always ask for additional signage, but that's gonna be very tough to get.
okay.
Once they put one sign up, it's for the purpose of the department. That's what they'll do.
Okay, thanks.
T, anything notable?
No, nothing to add from the report unless there's any questions from the board.
And I see our signs, shop crew will be repairing, cleaning and replacing broken glass in the bus stop shelters. Is that really our responsibility for the bus stop shelters?
Actually, yes, we are responsible as part of the agreement with the bus shelters. We install them, paid for them, and we maintain them. Yeah.
Charge.
Go.
Alrighty, anything else? Operations or administrative reports? Alrighty, 9, consider a motion to convene closed session pursuant to Wisconsin state statutes for the chlorine tank discussion.
Richards will make a motion to go in executive closed session pursuant to Wisconsin state statutes 1985 sub 1 sub E sub G to discuss chlorine contact tank and wholesale water agreement with the city of Franklin.
Bill second.
Roll call.
Gill, aye.
Dukenyak, aye?
Guzekowski, aye.
Richards, aye.
Kelly, aye.